Can you guys see my phone? With the reflection of my glasses? These are transitional prescription glasses. But anyway, hi everyone. I came up with an idea, and it's pretty much like Sim City, the video game. When someone buys a property, say of like a certain amount of acres, I think that there should be a grid system that will permit people where to build a home and where they can't build a home for future development. Because, there's some people who own like 40 acres or more, right? They do all this fucking crazy work and shit. And then sometimes they want to like buy land or divide it. And then the homes are scattered. They're not like, like a home development company who does it more professionally and they really think stuff through. So it could be so it could be less expensive as far as when it comes to you know plumbing, electricity, sewage, the whole nine yards, right? And like a city, so even though the homes are spread out in a more rural area, if more and more homes get built, they will be aligned. So eventually, if people come and build home after home after home after home after home, it will eventually become what we see in a city, and not where homes are scattered and everything's out of whack, and there's a lot of dead ends and a bunch of bullshit. It'll be more fucking thought of. So, it won't prevent anyone from buying a property. People will be able to buy whatever size property. But I'm thinking if they divide that property into smaller, like a smaller grid system, then basically, the data will be able to specify exactly where, the home can be built or not built. So we won't waste fucking our time as people. Because it's fucking weird. Like, people with money, it seems like they control everything. But other people who don't have any money and win the fucking lottery, then they become like the rich people. So everyone's just doing whatever people say who have money just to be able to function in this world. But there's like no real fucking direction, guidance, and no real fucking what's the word? Like like plan or mission. So it'll be just thinking ahead of time, and also, so from another perspective, it will be like, say you're a person who wants to buy 1,000 acres, but then later on they tell you that it's possible that, you know, it might get divided with roads or freeway or whatever down the line. So then it'll fuck up your plans, right? But if you knew that shit ahead of time, you'll consider all these facts. You'll consider everything before, you know, jumping into something and fucking like buy some property for you to be disappointed down the line, which you probably don't want to be disappointed. And I don't know if it's like that right now, but I believe that it should. And a lot of you out there who are into like forcing code enforcement, there's a lot of listings on Zillow, property listings. You know, look at how they're constructing everything. Are they following code? And if they're not, you know, you have the right to snitch them out and make money from that, because it's all about safety. So technically you're not snitching anyone out. You're just trying to keep him safe. That's all you have to say. And you can take them to court, make money, force them to go about it the right way, um, and shit like that. And it's all over these property listings. I seen it, when you go and view homes or whatever, open houses, you can look for little things like that as well. That's why I believe strongly in the internet, because if it's all fucking like getting a permit from the city for whatever it is that you're trying to do and accomplish, and you have to get the right type of like blueprints, right? So it will be something like that, and then obviously everything's getting connected digitally, because there's a lot of shit going on, and it's all for the better. There's a lot of greedy motherfuckers preaching that it's not better, but it is only getting better. Everything's only getting better and better, and richer and richer. And there's a lot of shit going on in the world, and like I said, it's only for the better. It's not for the worse. So we have to call these things out like they are. And that's why I've been sharing my videos. Like, I don't understand why we're still building the way that old timers used to build, because they had limited tools. They didn't have technology like we have technology today. They didn't have everything that we have today. So, we have to get more creative so we can focus on, more important things. Um, and I believe that we are, you know, because everything costs money. You know, fix this, fix that, buy this, buy this, buy that, buy that. And it's just a bunch of bullshit, right? So by simplifying everything, then we will be able to advance further and, you know, focus our attention on like employing people to start constructing, you know, spaceships and shit like that, so we can start going to Mars and, you know, start voyaging out from Earth and shit like that. Because that's the next thing, I think. A lot of like all of us are just focused on Earth, you know? Well, I have to do this, I have to build this, or I have to do this, I have to do this. And it's like, for what? All you need is a fucking house to sleep in, and like, you know, an RV or something, mobile home. Like, I think the next future home is fucking the vehicle. Mobile home, pretty much. Because everything is simplified, everything's simple. It's not complicated. And fucking, I don't even know what the fuck we're going to be doing in any other planet besides Earth. I mean, half of us don't even know what the fuck to do on Earth. You know, besides fucking each other and everyone having a good time, drinking, getting drunk, getting high. And we all think everyone else is stupid besides ourselves. And we all start giggling. Ha 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 ha. So funny. He 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 he. Blah 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 blah. You know, like I'm obviously being sarcastic. You know, like, but it really seems like that's all we're doing. So it's fucking weird. But there's a lot of jobs, people. There's a lot of jobs out there. And it's not about attacking people. It's not about, you know, fucking people over. Because what I'm talking about, you know, like going on Zillow and calling all these like code enforcement fucking flaws, you know, it's a good way to make money. But at the same time, it's kind of fucked up because someone has to pay out of pocket, you know, to fix shit. Um, but that's why, you know, that's why a lot of people just, you know, go and fucking rent an apartment or some shit, because they don't have to do any landscaping. They don't have to do any pool maintenance. They just pay for, you know, HOA. You know, I remember my mom got a pool installed, and then they told her that she had to put up a fence, you know, in case someone went back there and fucking drowned. That will be like the liability. Like, if someone drowned, well, it's not my fault. You can blame it on the gate, you know? It's not my fault someone left the gate open or this person broke in and drowned when I didn't give them any permission, you know, that type of shit. So, you know, it's no one's fault that you want to put yourself into, you know, under a lot of fucking, under a lot of fucking, responsibility, you know? Like, that's on you. Like, everything we do, we all have the freedom to do whatever the fuck we want. You know, that's the simplest it's going to get. We all have the freedom to do whatever we want. Like if we have the money and we want to go buy a tiny little house, like the size of a shed, you know, like a little cabin, then that's on us. That's up to you as a person. Or what if you don't want to buy a house? Maybe you just want to live in an RV. That's up to you. You could be a fucking, you know, multi-billionaire and still live in an RV and not give a fuck. And the fucking tiniest fucking land fucking plot ever. Everything's optional. I don't know anymore. But everything's just a test, you know? It's like school. It's like, you know, like if it's like if the schooling were to ask students, "Hey, come up with, you know, a better, more convenient way to like construct a home." And then like come up with, you know, like pros and cons about your idea, you know, then it could be implemented, right? If it's thought of or thought about, you know, thoroughly. Or else, like, all of us are just going to continue getting the runaround. You know, do this, do that. It's like if I became a fucking billionaire and I decided to build a fucking bridge in the middle of the fucking desert so I could build a house right underneath it, and the bridge will act like my fucking canopy. That way I will have shade at all times, 24/7. I could come out. The bridge will be so fucking wide and long and shit. It won't even affect me. The heat. I'll have some big ass fans and shit. And all for what? All for what? I just wasted a lot of money, resources, people's time. For what? How is that helping people? See what the fuck I'm talking about? But that has become the norm for all of us. Like we all want a house. We all want our privacy. We all want this. We all want that. That's why I don't know, like I've been thinking about just joining the army or some shit because they at least they have a fucking mission. They have a goal. And that's why I talk a lot about, the internet. And the internet, it's all military stuff. Like, it wasn't released to the public until 1990, the year I was born, July 1990. July 4th, 1990 is when I was born. I don't know what month exactly in the year 1990, but fucking they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. With all this internet shit. And I seen a lot of stuff. So I talked about it, in my videos. And it could easily be extracted and like added and organized in a good format, like in a book or stuff like that. That way, with along with other people's stuff, it's like examining. It's like examining everyone's fucking thoughts and opinions, and then like adding all that, to my lips are chapped. Adding that to the internet stuff. But like I have nothing against people having their own stuff. I think that's cool. Oh, I see stars. I needed a break. That's why I just started recording. 22 minutes strong. All the bags I already bagged up. Cleaning up all that stuff over there. Yeah. Like they say, clean as you go, clean as you go. But it's all good. Like, this is our first project, so we're learning a lot. We're not professionals. We never went to school for this shit. We're just fucking learning as we go. We're not fucking professionals. And that's the crazy thing about building a fucking home, the old style way. Like, these guys have to do a lot of fucking work. Fucking nail guns, a bunch of stupid ass fucking inventions, I swear to God. And then people get hurt. I accidentally that shit accidentally went into my thumb. But luckily it didn't go in deep enough. And it didn't like go into bone. It just barely went in. But it was still like a pretty good cut. And then I drilled into my fucking thumb. It's fucking crazy. So I thought about like us building like concrete homes out of like one massive mold. And then I thought of, even if we had to like pour the concrete layer by layer gradually all the way up, that way it won't like expand and fucking fuck shit up, I don't know. And then I thought about a simpler way. I thought about like a fucking PVC fucking tube. Kind of like a 5-gallon bucket. like this. So we would just have to focus on, putting a garage door here, and that'll be a fucking a bedroom or whatever. So look at no need for gutters, no need for shingles, and so it won't blow away. Like, this can be filled with gravel and dirt or whatever. That way, that will be the foundation, and the house, the bucket won't fly away or whatever. Ugh, but even that could be a lot of work. Maybe it shouldn't even be constructed that way. Maybe it should just be one massive fucking... I don't fucking know. But it's fucking annoying already. Like, it's coming up with ideas for nothing. Like, what's the fun in that, Now, if I was getting paid and I was able to fucking, like, maybe work on some ideas. But no one really has money. No one wants to invest a lot of money in bullshit ideas. And especially for just experiments. That's why people go to school. Like, school's cool. I love school. Like, I'm thinking about going back to school. But I'm really unstable in all my ways. I'm like a wave that's tossed here and there. I'm fucking lost in this world. I'm confused. There's a lot of confusion. I'm just trying to figure everything out, and it's fucking me over. But God's good though. I know that I will find direction, and I will find direction, and hopefully one day I fucking like like I'll find my calling, and hopefully one of my ideas will be a grand slam. Like this guy over here, he's breeding honey. Well, he's not breeding honey. He's like, he has bees, and he came over and he gave Ken, which owns this house, this honey here, and it's super cool. It says 2LB. I don't know what LB stands for, but it's 2LB 0.87 kg net weight, 2LB. Contents pure honey. And then there's a business card here. So it's super cool. Like, and I actually thought of an idea that had to do with, these little things that they're dealing with. They're the honeycomb. It's where the bees take a lot of. It requires a lot of energy for them to, build these little things. And then I noticed that in the companies, they just like destroy them, you know. And I'm sure that they might throw the the honeycomb back out to the bees so they could, you know, harvest it back out because it's basically been destroyed by them squashing all that stuff and just extracting the honey. So basically, to the bees, all they think is, "Oh, one of our combs has been destroyed. Let's fix it." So that's exactly what they do. Or they might see it and be like, "Oh, okay, this is way too much for work. We can just use it for parts, like a broken vehicle or something." But I thought about like us putting something where it's like machined, um, ready, like a honeycomb, so the bees could just focus on, putting the honey in there or whatever they do, unless they really need that pattern, the honeycomb pattern, and unless they have to build it or else they won't fuck with it. So I guess it could be tested, you know. And I thought about a way where, they will just be able to take it to the machine and they'll be able to put some pressure into it, and basically every single little hole will get cleared out of honey and it will just splatter on a wall, and then they will just wipe it off, you know, and clean it out, and then basically they'll just go and put that honeycomb thing back into the box. I don't know. I think they're little boxes, but they look like huge boxes. Like, I don't know. Looks like someone could actually be in there, like a person.